What's up everyone, this is CoyneDawg here with another GTA video. So in this video we're going to be looking at my top 5 overpriced supercars in GTA Online. Now this is just my personal opinion of what I believe to be some of the most overpriced supercars. I think it's quite important to remember that there is more to a vehicle than just the performance, you know. Not everyone buys cars for racing, it might be for their appearance or the customization options and all those sorts of things. So I've tried to keep all of that in mind while I make my decisions, and it was really difficult to narrow it down to 5, but I've done my best. As always, if you enjoy the video, then please make sure you subscribe and leave a like. It really does help my channel grow and it keeps me motivated to produce more content like this for you guys. So let's get straight into it. So first up, we've got the Piga Reaper. Now the Reaper is a strange car. The actual appearance of the vehicle, in my opinion, is relatively low quality, especially around the back end. The textures in general and the general shape of the vehicle is quite dull. The rear lights are pretty awful as well in my opinion, and the general detailing of the model done by Rockstar for the vehicle are really not that great. When you look at some of the other vehicles, I don't think they did a good job with it at all. In terms of performance, it's also not great. It's not on the pace of the top supercars at all, and it's not even a nice car to drive in terms of the way it handles. And then we get to the price, and just look at that, it's $1.6 million, that car. Now, just think about other things that you can buy for that sort of money. You've got the Tempesta is a great example, which is probably one of the best bargains. You know, you've got the Zentorno, which is far less than that, half the price. You know, I cannot see why anyone would pay that money for this vehicle. It's got nothing that warrants that price, in my opinion. So next up, we've got the Trojan GP1. Now, those that watch my videos quite often will already know that I have a really low opinion of this car. Rockstar really overhyped it, as did the community, to be fair, when they released it to us, and it created a huge amount of disappointment as a result of that. Now, in terms of the appearance, they did a really nice job with the front end of the vehicle, but then they ruined the back end of it completely. And, you know, the performance of the car additionally is really poor as well. I didn't expect it personally to be on the top supercar pace, but it's nowhere near, you know, it's nowhere near where it should be in my view. And the one redeeming feature it does have is it's got a good level of customization on it. However, you know, no level of customization can fix the back end that they've given us on that. Now, the price they pitch it at is nearly $1.3 million. Now, is it worth that? I don't think so, personally. There's so many better things you could spend that sort of money on, so I definitely avoid this one, to be honest. So next up, we've got the Emperor ETR1. Now, this car was released alongside the RE7B and the Tyrus as part of the racing car style cars that they released in the Cunning Stunt update. And of those three vehicles, the ETR1, in my view, is the worst one. The performance level it has, in my own testing at least, is acceptable, but not really race car level of performance. The look of the thing is pretty ugly from the front and the rear, in my view. And also the level of customization that they offer is not very good, and I think Rockstar missed a trick with the race cars that they brought into the game. They could have done a lot of good customizations with it, but they didn't do it with any of those three cars, to be honest. And then we get on to the price, which is basically $2 million for that car. I mean, why would anyone spend that sort of money on this car? You can get a Nero Custom, which is a far better all-round vehicle than this, for around the same money. I'd personally spend the money on a Nero Custom or buy yourself a nice property instead of that money, to be honest. So the fourth one I've got on my list is this car, which is the Italia GTB Custom. So this is where things start to get a little bit more difficult to pick vehicles. We got this car alongside the regular Italia GTB in the import-export update, and I'll be honest, I do quite like the look of it, although the regular Italia GTB does look better in my opinion, particularly the rear end. My main problem with the vehicle, however, is the additional costs which you have to pay to get some new customization but ruin the performance of the vehicle, which is the mistake that Rockstar made. The car itself normally costs $1.2 million. It is on offer at the time I make this video, but normally that is the price you would pay. And then you have to pay an additional $500,000 to upgrade it, so that you get all the extra customizations and turn it into the Italia GTB Custom. So $1.7 million in total for the vehicle, and then all the extra customizations that you get with it are far more expensive than regular ones. You could probably spend over $2 million on this car, upgrading it, customizing it, all those sorts of things, and I don't think you can justify the cost on this, to be honest. So the final car on the list is the Trojan T20. Now let me just get this out of the way straight away. I do love this car. It is probably my top 5 favourite cars in the game, and it has a really decent level of performance, and the customization options on it are not too bad at all, with the appearance being okay but not outstanding. The big problem with the car that I have, however, is the price of it. This was released at a time when the Rockstar business model was basically just to keep increasing the price of a new car with every single update. They've changed direction with that a little bit now, so we've seen cars like the Tempesta and the Nero being released for far less money with very similar or even better levels of performance than this car. And I feel like if Rockstar released the T20 today, it would be far less than the $2.2 million price tag that they've given it. And it's a real shame that they've not revisited it and priced it a little bit more competitively, which I'd probably say around 1.6 million, something like that, would be a really good price for this car. So that's the only thing that goes against it. But you know, if you have money to burn, it's still a car that's probably worth buying. But I wouldn't put it on my list of priority cars to purchase. So the final part of this video, I just really want to talk about the X80. So I'd imagine many of you, when you saw the title of this video, you'd expect the X80 to be in the overpriced section. But I don't personally think it is, and I'm going to explain to you why. Right at the very start, I mentioned that there is more to a vehicle than just performance. There's also the appearance of the car and the customisation and all those sorts of things. And whilst many cars in this game, they do look really good, they also share a lot of similarity with other vehicles. Whereas the X80 is truly unique. There is nothing else at all on the grid that looks anything like this vehicle. The aileron-like steering that you'll see happening around the rear, around the spoiler, is really quite unique and interesting, and it's a really nice touch, to be honest. The car in general just looks superb. It's probably the most detailed supercar that we've got in the game, and the performance is also really good if you can handle the car, particularly in stunt races where this thing just eats up the tubes. And the customisation as well on it is also nice, with things like the accent lines and stuff like that, which allow you to create some really unique paint jobs that you don't really see on any other vehicle. I think if you put all that together, you can really justify the price tag for this car. I mean, at the end of the day, it's something you'd buy to stand out, and if they made it a cheap vehicle to buy, everyone would have one and you wouldn't stand out at all. So that's kind of my justification for not putting the X80 into the overpriced category, and I hope you can understand that. But as I said, these are all just my opinions. You guys probably won't agree, some of you will agree. I'm quite interested to see what the comments will be like on this video, because I quite imagine there'll be some probably heated debates and disagreements and all that sort of thing. But please just remember, this is just my opinion, you know, and my view on the supercar class in general. So that's all I've got for you today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below what your views are on cars and all that sort of stuff. If you've enjoyed this video as well, I'm hoping to do the sports cars and stuff like that at some point in the future. So yeah, so thanks very much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't done already. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll be back again soon.